And now we're going to review the page structure that is being used with Theme Suite's client first structure. So first of all, you can see that after the body, of course, we have the div which is going to contain the entire page. Now this is really helpful in order to copy and paste a page throughout your Webflow project. So for example, if I didn't utilize this div, which is the main container, I would have to individually select these different items and then copy them into another page. So this is just a practice which I believe is a really good one in order to keep your workflow flexible if in the case it's going to erase and it's needed. So as you can see here, very briefly, outermost parent of all elements on the page, and again helps to copy and paste the entire page to a different page or apply CSS style to the entire page. Now moving forward, we have the navbar, which of course is going to be a staple in each and every website, since it's going to enable users to navigate through your website, and it specifies the list of navigation links. Now nav HTML tag is placed outside of the main wrapper, since its content is not for page specific content. So this is actually going into a bit more of detail. So you need to have an understanding, a basic understanding of what's going on from a HTML standpoint, since the nav is actually a tag which was introduced with HTML5, and essentially they wanted to add it outside in order to not confuse the search engine and, generally speaking, make the entire ecosystem work well. So these are two different individual elements. Nav is going to stand by itself, and then we're going to have the page specific elements within the wrapper. Now, global styles is this component right here, which is essentially the custom CSS for the project. So it organizes all custom CSS snippets for the entire project, and it's stored in a Webflow HTML embed as a symbol. So this is essentially an embed. It's not anything that you're going to see, so it's not a visual element. It's just going to be added right here, since it's going to be fast to load at the very top. And right after that, then it comes the main website, which is going to be, first of all, wrapped into a div which is called main wrapper. And as they mention, the main or page specific content of the page is going to be the main wrapper. So they use a main HTML tag for accessibility best practice, so that Google or any search engine also understand that this is going to be the main content. Right after that, we're going to have the section identifier, which essentially wraps an entire section of content, and again helps to organize Webflow Navigator panel, and HTML section tag is recommended. And right after that, we're going to have the padding global and the container. So padding global is essentially adjusting the horizontal spacing of the page content. So it's basically used for site-wide left and right outer padding on each page, so that the content stays well placed in the center, with a bit of padding on the left and right side. So just a padding div essentially. And then we're going to have the main container, which is going to contain the actual content. So the container, it's something that we already explored in previous videos, but it essentially sets a max width for all the page content and centers the content on the page. So in client first, they actually included three types of container, or three sizes of container: the small, medium, and large. So depending on how large you need or small you need the container to be within the web page, you can decide upon one of those three sizes. So that's that. And let's also briefly discuss the new update that happened in version 2.1. So the padding section size utility class should be used on the div block with the padding global class applied to reduce nesting elements as example below. So this is actually going to be something that you're going to need to take note on. It's a technical thing about this 2.1 update. And if you have a look on the right, you can see more here and you can learn more about the padding section size. So basically, this is a class that helps to manage the top and the bottom padding for sections globally throughout the project. So here we have an example where we have 5 rems on the top, 5 rems on the bottom, and you can decide, of course, the size again with small, medium, and large, which is going to be a recurring pattern throughout our journey with client first, since most of the classes that offer the size option are actually going to either be small, medium, or large. There's also some other ones which we're going to notice in future videos, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a look again at the documentation. You can always click on show in docs in order to see the very specific documentation around this and really try to understand the basics for this. You're not going to have to create this from scratch each and every time. There's actually a way where you can copy and paste from their Chrome extension this exact structure so that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Essentially, that wouldn't be a great UX, but they solved that problem for us. So try to understand what's going on from a high level, and then we're going to move on to the very next